Welcome once again to Pragya. Today we're going to talk about the modalities of sound. Sound in our life. We have spoken to you about how the environment that we live in, that people who are surrounding us, also has the echo of the word sound. We have Karan with us today, who is going to talk about sound healing, and then I'm going to correlate it to the core values of Pragya. Karan, thank you so much. I have myself experienced this beautiful session. Thank you. How many years have you done this for?
This has been like 9 years with me. Yoga, sound healing, and different modalities of I think yoga that you have been covering.
Sound, what does it consist of?
Okay, so I think everything in the world is vibrating.
Okay.
So the sound is nothing but the vibrations and the concept of cymatics.
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 So cymatics, isn't it a recent word, or is it a word used in the cultures of the world?
It has been there with us since time immemorial, as you told. But then it is to be researched more.
Yeah, so it's recently has been given a word or dictionary in the dictionary, and there is work in progress in that.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
Correct. So if I simplify it, what is cymatics? So let's say if there is a cymatics plate, someone can do this at home as well. You can have a plate and you can just sprinkle some particles. Let's say like flour, like some flour, atta, जिसको हम बोलते हैं, and then with the music, with the vibrations, that whole particles will rearrange themselves into a pattern.
Amazing.
And with every different tune, that pattern will be a bit different.
Amazing.
So just imagine that the
impact,
the cells in our body will rearranging themselves into a pattern, into symphony and harmony. So let's say we're dealing with blood clots by making the cells come to a pattern and probably unclogging the ways, unclogging the energy channels. So it's a different like a paradigm altogether.
Okay, so amazing information already, and we have just started this session. So imagine flour realigns its pattern on simply a plate with sound. The sound shifts. So many scientists worldwide has talked about water, energizing water. Back in the days, we've had sages and saints around the world pray to water to energize its molecular memory. Are we really doing that at home? No. Why? When we already are facing with mental health issues, we're already facing with cancer, we're facing with so many diseases, we're still not following. That's because it's really difficult to give up what we know and go towards what is unknown. I'm going to ask you a simple question, that is, are there sound waves?
Yeah, there are sound waves.
There are sound waves. Can you give me 2-3 names of sound waves?
So let's say Pythagoras.
Okay.
Pythagoras is famous for having the theorem, right?
Okay.
We all know Pythagoras theorem, but then Pythagoras is basically also the inventor of the monochord.
Okay.
So that one chord, just maybe you are you're catching the string from two sides, or maybe the string is not able to move. It has been caught up by two sides. So if you move that string, there will be a sound wave.
Okay.
And if I divide the string into two parts now, so there will be a different kind of a different tone. And then if I divide the same string into 3 parts, then there will be again a different tune. So again, if I divide the string into 4 parts, so and so on and so forth. So that's how we were able to make 7
I'm
notes.
going to bring what Karan has just said to our real lives. We have parents, then we have a wife, Then we have children and their children. We're constantly moving with the sounds of their vibrations in our entire life. We have forgotten our own soul vibration. We have to look into the music within, the music of the soul that we are, and find that journey for our own healing, our own being. Today I have just come out of the sound healing class. There are so many instruments used in different parts of the world, whatever you resonate with. We had in one of our sessions discussed about sleep and lullabies, music before we sleep. Here we have cells in our body. Imagine one of the people that you know is going through an illness, a disease, and we energize them with positive words and good sound. How will it impact their cells? How would it impact you? Because you can hear yourself. Does it matter at a very young age with the kind of music we surround ourselves?
Of course, absolutely it matters. Because the vibrations, as you mentioned, that everything is vibrations. So the vibrations are good, then of course everything is good. Like people are disease free. There are no infections. People are happy, healthier,
right,
and more active, and they do what is right always. As in, they land up doing what is right always. Their mind is aligned. Their thoughts are aligned, their emotions are aligned.
So just through the journey of sound, you can align your being.
Yeah,
like is that what you're saying?
The particles, like the salt maybe or the flour, they kind of rearrange themselves and align themselves into a pattern. In the same way, our cells can also align themselves, and we can also align ourselves.
Excellent. I hear through some of the YouTube channels that I've resonated with, there was this doctor I met in Leh, and he was being interviewed by a very renowned researcher, and said the words, the alphabets that we use in our dictionary, in our alphabetic knowledge in different cultures came from the sound vibrations, and that's how they were formed. Do you throw any light on this?
So let's say there are 7 colors in the rainbow.
Yes.
In the same way, we have 7 notes.
Right.
In the same way, like as I gave you an example of the monochord, you can have divided into, let's say, the 7 parts.
Yeah.
So if you divide it into 6 parts, divide it into 5 parts, so every part will give you a different. So the more you divide it, the let's say you get a G.
Okay.
And if you just have a monochord, let's say that can be a A.
Right.
So in the same way, like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, like Sa, Re, Ga, Ma, Pa, Dha, Ni, Sa.
Or Do, Re, Mi, Fa, Sol, La, Si, Do.
Yeah.
So
yes,
it could be other. It
yes.
doesn't matter.
Yes.
It doesn't matter whether it's 7 syllables, 7 colors. The world itself is full of so many colors and so many sounds. And to wake up to sounds of bird, to music, to nature, it's just so soul refreshing. When did you start learning about these bowls?
So these bowls, I think I personally started coming across them when I was learning yoga. So that was again 9 years back. I saw people talking about sound healing. And
right.
I was still learning yoga at that time, let's say. I was learning asanas. So first I was in asanas, and then I was in pranayama, but all throughout my journey in yoga, I was kind of seeing them.
Do you think the divine was guiding you to come towards this journey of healing yourself?
Eventually, yes, I was, for everything in my life, the divine was guiding me, and this was a part of my to-do list. Let's say I was seeing it, I was getting exposed again and again, and then one fine day I kind of got through the training and ultimately started off with this journey as well.
So where did you learn about it?
So as I told you, when I was doing yoga and all, so in like places like Dharamkot, in places like Goa, in places like Rishikesh.
So were they only Indian sound healers, or were they from different parts of the world?
From different parts of the world.
Okay.
So there was one, unfortunately there was an accident I met
Okay.
And I was healing. I was, let's say it was 3 months after the accident, my even friend offered me sound healing. So she was like, let's not do sound healing when you are still very newly out of the accident, let's say. You're still healing. But after 3 months, she kind of insisted that let me heal you through sound healing and all. So
wow. So you're telling me that you can actually help people come out of illnesses,
Yes.
or perhaps assist in the part of healing towards
Yes.
a fitter self through the sound,
Yes.
energy of the sound.
Yes.
Amazing. Things like this need to really come out on surface. I alone cannot do this. I need your help. Because modalities like this exist. They exist for children, their peace, for adults, for healing in hospitals, in schools, in corporates, for not just more productivity, but for a better quality of life. At Pragya, I feel things like this must be brought to surface, for better mental health issues, for a society which is not in suffering. Hamara desh nahi hai. At Pragya, we believe in one world, one race, and that is the human race. I'm going to talk to Karan a little bit more because I just heard that he had had an accident and he was unable to do a lot of things that he was so used to carrying on in his day-to-day life. And with the help of aerial yoga, sound healing, and other modalities, he managed to actually come out of his ailments, has become a teacher, teaches sound healing, teaches aerial yoga, and other modalities. Things like that should be standardized as well. Things like this are real, and therefore we have to think about possibilities of more schools that assist, more platforms that can help us come to learnings of peace, joy, healing, and most importantly, it should start very young. Does it impact a child's brain?
Absolutely, it does. So there are different, like as I told you, cymatics is one of the concept, and like a kind of, let's say, experiment-driven, scientifically backed thing that you can do it for yourself in your home as well. Now the second thing is entrainment. There is one thing called entertainment and there is one thing called entrainment.
What's that? I didn't even know there was something else that existed.
Let's say we all have sung a song maybe in our childhood or in our school days when we were all expected to sing in chorus.
Right.
Or like in a group.
Yes.
Right? And then if a person just next to you, if he or she is singing well, then you kind of felt easy to sing.
Right.
If the person is singing like, let's say, the opposite, right, you will find it really hard to sing. So the concept of entrainment is that if a person is just next to you and if they sing well and if their vibrations and the symphony and the harmony that they're creating is good, then you also kind of entrain yourself and your vocal cords kind of come at a higher frequency, and you kind of sink in and you lock in and you kind of start singing better.
Amazing.
And in the same way, when we are, let's say, the cells, because of being infected or going through a bit of diseases, so their original vibrational kind of purest form, they kind of tend to vibrate slightly less.
Right.
So with entrainment, because of these singing bowls, the cells latch on to the vibrations of these singing bowls and they kind of come back to their original state of vibrations.
Amazing. How wonderful. How wonderful that obviously we are aware that we are all vibration beings and we have cellular memory and we have the black box in the brain and the cell. Of course, we're all aware of it. But most importantly is through sound, we can come to our original nature and being of the cell, and that itself will induce healing. At Pragya, we're not saying don't go for medicine. We're not saying that don't do this or that. It's really your life. You're an adult or a child, it'll be your responsibility. But they are things which are available to make your experiences more joyous. Do you think good songs, you've heard when you were in your childhood and you bonded over that, does it create good relationships between families?
So yeah, absolutely, as rightly pointed out by you. So when you started with this conversation, you told us about the instruments, right? So that is one way of connecting with symphony and harmony and a pattern, a good one. So instruments is one. Then you have bhakti yoga, where you sing the songs of the devotional songs, and in the same way normal songs, as in whenever you play YouTube and all. So in a way you are kind of listening to a pattern. You're listening to a pattern which is good for the ear or good for the soul.
Or it's created a memory. It's like lullabies that we spoke about. Songs that when as a family you were driving and you were singing. To come back with your family with that kind of music will help you heal your relationships, be it with your children, be it with your parents. So to take the assistance of sound itself, it does not limit itself with bowls, or it doesn't go smaller or higher, because there is nothing right or wrong, bigger or smaller. We are on a planet of duality, day and night, hot and cold. So sound makes such a difference, and we have all heard about good music. We've all heard about healing music. We've all heard lullabies when we were growing up. As children, we've heard of sound connecting the world through its concerts, through movies, through YouTube, through all these platforms. Use it to your benefit. It's just like almost a sword that can save you, that can kill one. It's how about you using it correctly to heal yourself.
So kind of Pragya by Somya ji has been manifested by me somehow. I don't know, like the divine intervention, that I was just yesterday only telling someone, like Murad, he's from Israel. And I was doing his sound healing, and he asked me a few things that did you do something different and all. So this is the intuition that we get. So like as Somya ji had an intuition that she had to share all these modalities with you guys. So in the same way, I was telling Murad that is yesterday, that I need to share this knowledge more and more, because the mainstream medicine, let's say, is the only thing that everyone goes to. But and that is a bit, let's say, it has side effects, it can be invasive as well. But these sound healing or yoga or breath work, pranayama, meditation, aerial yoga, all these movements, they are non-invasive. They are the biggest, I would say, cure at a later stage, but the biggest prevention that we can induce at the very, the very nascent age.
Just hear this word, prevention is better than cure. Don't we all know that? We must encourage ourselves to learn. We must encourage our children to hear happy, joyous sounds. We must actually make effort to bond in our relationship with sound. Maybe driving our child to school, maybe cooking at home with good music, which is fun, joyous, healing. At a place of work, which is just not for productivity, more shopping, more of everything. No, more will, if it's meant to come, it will come. But during the day, at school, at work, in your offices, in your home, before you sleep, when you wake up, please be aware of the impact of sound, music, and its words.
One more example is lithotripter.
Lithotripter, tell me about it.
It's a machine which kind of pulverizes or kind of crushes the kidney stones, the gallbladder stones, the pancreas stones. And the lithotripter actually makes use of vibrations produced by the machine itself.
Right.
So that is based on the concept of sound healing, or vice versa. Sound healing is based on that concept. So that proves that the vibrations of the sounds are produced to pulverize that stone, and kind of that stone, when it's pulverized, it passes out through the urine.
Right.
And the person who's suffering will only, let's say, be admitted in the morning, and by the evening they are gone.
Amazing.
And with very less, obviously, no invasion in the body as such, no anesthesia, right? No syringes used, right? No cuts.
Excellent.
And no like the person is not being operated on.
Yeah, because the suffering is just not the person who's ill. It's the family members as well. It's the society. It is the community. It is the country, because it's also the taxman's money that goes into healing one for the other. So I think those awarenesses are fantastic. But something you just said, that science is now using it for certain surgeries, that's brilliant. Thank you, science. But you're just 200 years old. From needle to nuclear in just 200 years. It's amazing. Science is built for us, you and me, to make our lives easier. But let's not forget the wisdom that existed in the world from your grandparents, their grandparents, your grandmothers, your parents. We have all cultures with several ways of life coming from the region that they were brought up in, dependent on the climate, dependent on the words and its nature of surrounding. And they have their old grandmother's tales, they have their own remedies. Have the patience to listen, analyze, and not be judgmental, because sometimes we don't even want to listen to them. Take some time. Science is just 200 years old. Wisdom worldwide has existed thousands of years. Thank you.